It's working. Greetings. Word out on the street says we're doing a little bit of a live stream today. And so in classic fashion, we're gonna get ready for that. If you've just walked into the room, if you've stumbled upon this strange moment of time, it's probably because I'm pretty sure, as I hold this little piece of burning wood in my hand here, is this allowed on YouTube? Are you allowed to burn Palo Santo in a live stream? Are you allowed to even ask that question? Are you, you know what I mean? Are you allowed to even ask that question? Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the School of Multidimensional Intuition once again. Like I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure I have it on pretty good authority that it is. I think it's August 6th, 2022. So we could say start date August 6th, 2022. And here at the Multidimensional Trailer Park, in the weird outskirts of formerly jungle-laden Florida, we're just kind of hanging out. It's a beautiful, balmy 96 degrees, and I'm holding a little piece of burning wood in my hand. But welcome. Thanks for rolling in, everybody. I'm going to start out today by saying the annoying thing I'm going to say a million times in a row. Share this video on your social media network. Maybe you'll annoy a few people. Maybe a few people will see it and they'll be like, wow, that was actually cool and oddly enjoyable. I'm going to watch that again. Maybe every now and then someone will watch and experience the energy and just the moments that we're creating, and they'll have a realization about their own journey, their own timeline, their own multidimensional self, whatever you want to call it. Your own stretch of the journey is of paramount importance. Not that it hasn't been before, but we're entering a stage in 2022 where your individualized understanding, your individualized energy, your individualized timeline, your individualized kind of set of mission-related objectives and goals that you chose coming into this physical, strange human body, they're about to become of just much greater importance, the individuality element of it, as far as I can tell. And if there's one thing I've learned, over the past few years, days, weeks, months, is I'm wrong constantly. I do tons of disclaimers. You know, I'm also learning the process of intuitive discovery, just like everyone else. But regardless of that, I feel pretty confident that I think it started about a week or so ago, but we are in what we would call one of the most potentially potent energetic portals of the year of 2022. We have this sort of little moment in time, or this sort of energetic window, pretty much every year. It rolls through in early August. And it is the Lion's Gate. It's a very interesting kind of, it's one of what I would call an energetic gateway experience that takes place kind of like clockwork every single year. Not that it has anything to do specifically with the date of August 8th, although that is generally within what we would call this sort of energetic opening. And so what are we seeing? What's happening this year with this crazy Lion's Gate thing that's happening? Because I know for a lot of people, it's kind of a spiritual buzzword. Other people think of it as sort of this kind of new age nonsense. It's like, oh, here we go. It's the 3-3 portal. No. Actually, hold on. It's the 4-4 portal. Wait. See, we had 3-3. Okay, well, I'm waiting for the 5-5 portal. You know, the 5-5 one, 5D, 5-5 portal, right? So it's like we have a lot of these sort of spiritualized kind of, you know, just they're sort of manufactured for a lot of us when it comes to the sort of gateway phenomenon and these sort of portal energies that we experience. And then there's others that are very naturally occurring, that are part of what I would call, at least through my own observation, part of the natural ebb and flow, the opening and closing of doorways and passageways, what we might call the passage of time, and how certain cycles will begin, certain cycles will end. And in the midst of those, we'll make choice points, decisions, decisionary directions, kind of crossroads in the journey. And when I look, and then, you know, once again, this is just me, I'm wrong about, 50% of the time, maybe now, who knows, maybe I shouldn't quantify it. But, as far as I can tell, as we move into what we would call, or through, because we're in it right now, this sort of Lion's Gate portal in 2022, we are at what we would call one of the individualized mission choice points in our physical human journey, in which a lot of us can make modifications, contract revocations, contract renegotiations, new decisions in terms of where we're going and what we're creating. For a lot of us right now, we are literally stepping into another chapter of service. A lot of people that find our channel are people who are awakening into the healer version of themselves, the intuitive version of themselves, the shamanistic version of themselves. And some people cringe just hearing those words. Other people, I'm saying it because he's in the background. He's in the background. Other people are opening their abilities to channel, to connect with non-physical energies. And today, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. A lot of you guys already heard the announcement. Hello in the chat, by the way. Hello, everyone. Sherry, and we got Jay Zen. What's going on, Jay Zen? John Hoffman from Alberta, Canada. What's happening out there? Unfortunately, Trudeau's taken away your ability to own handguns, but depending on what side of the spectrum you're on, that's either a blessing or a curse. And so, anyway, all that aside, thank you for joining us from the wilds of Canada. But Leyland, how's it going? We got Mara Moonflower, a bunch of other people. I see Aurora Diamond Heart in the house. For those of you guys who are interested in charting the path and being a part of the journey of one of the people in our soul group who's literally activating into the next stage of her journey, I sincerely hope that you'll kind of right click on her name there and open up Aurora Diamond Heart's profile and just subscribe to her channel. Subscribe to Aurora's channel. I'm excited to see what you're going to be creating, and I pray that you guys will take advantage of just what she has to offer within our strange little soul family, because there's a lot of people developing into the next stage of the journey. And so for those of you guys who already know, it's pretty much everyone. And for those of you guys that don't know, Ivan Teller is here with us today. He's going to be coming in just a few moments. As he already knows, I do a really long-winded kind of wind up into this thing. But yeah, you guys, Lionsgate 2022. I'm trying to remember the things I was going to say before we bring in our guest. Yes, here it is. We're going to be meeting again online in the coming days. We're going to be meeting at a very new time. That's 12 p.m. on Monday, which is what, if you want to get technical, whether you call it a sort of new age construct or a literal energetic portal, we're going to be right in the height of what we would call this August 8th Lionsgate energy. And because it represents what we call a choice point on our physical human timeline. Choice point, like I said earlier, just being a stage in which you can make massive modifications into the directions and the processes and the things that you're experiencing, because it is what I, have felt and described as a choice point in our timeline development. What we're going to be doing on Monday. So mark your calendars for those of you strange beings who enjoy hanging out with us in our strange multidimensional trailer park. We're going to be online. Doing some readings. We're going to be doing a little bit of energetic activation. We're just going to be doing a host of whatever shows up. Most importantly, we're going to be programming water, which is a thing we have not done on a live stream in quite some time. And some people are like, what? Programming water? What do you even mean? What are you talking about? What is all this water? What? Programming to do what? You'll see. It's a very, very, it's an incredibly powerful process of creating a vibratory state within a living physical kind of container that can cause you to literally shift the energy within yourself. Programming water is an incredible thing. And the reason why we're doing it on Monday is to just help assist with the integration of new energies and to help every person kind of gain clarity in the direction in which they're moving. So we're going to be doing some programming water, a little bit of energy stuff, and then we're going to do some readings. That's coming up this Monday, August 8th at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, it'll be the first time we ever did a morning show, which is probably the closest we're ever going to get to doing a morning show. And so anyway, we're going to bring Ivan in. He's in the background. He knows I'm going to do an awkward intro. And so here it comes. There's a whole group of us, you guys. If you're not familiar with Ivan Teller, he's an extraterrestrial channeler. And I think it goes beyond extraterrestrial stuff with him. He's also one of the most organic versions of that I've seen in my life. And for those of you guys that know me, you know that I'm highly skeptical. I'm becoming, in my strange old age now, a little bit of a hardened cynic when it comes to the manner in which people connect with spirit and whatnot. But for some reason, you guys, I don't know how it happened. Ivan Teller this is no joke. There's like 2 or 3 shows that are daily, 2 or 3 voices that are like a daily occurrence within our home. Ivan Teller is one of them. And what happens, you guys, is there's a group of people pretty much from all over the world or the US, wherever we come from. And we literally gather together pretty much every single night, pretty much every night. He's probably in the background shaking his head going, yeah, probably every night. Every single night we gather together, whether it's on YouTube. Lately though, it's been on Rumble a little bit because we had a little bit of I guess we could call it. I don't even want to say the prohibited keyword. Maybe it'll be the only time we had a censorship issue, and so he's currently back on YouTube. But when that whole thing went down, it was one of those moments where I was like, whoa, for a very short time, this voice, this energy, and this frequency that is one of just the people that we as a soul group, and you guys know, because a lot of them are here in the chat, it's like we all see each other every single night. Aurora Diamond Heart's there. I've seen Miss Liz there. I've seen a number of you guys there. Pretty much every night we roll through and just get a dose of what's going on in Ivan's world. And so I still to this day am a hardened cynic when it comes to just the process of channeling, but Ivan is one of those people who we look forward to hearing from. And so anyway, I'll just go on and on. Sorry, he's in the background probably going, what? Ivan, we're going to bring you on the chat and we're going to do a little bit of an interview here. Let's talk about what's going on in your strange world. Hopefully it works. Greetings. Hello, my friend. It's been some time.
Hello there, greetings. Look, back on YouTube. Look at that. That's, yeah.
Yep, we're back. Then again, you were on here last night.
That's true.
YouTube, so they let you back in.
Still not used to it. Just so, you just can't say anything. So we just sit here and just, not say anything and be fine.
Do you feel like you have censorship PTSD? Like it's like, how can I say this? How can I say that? So was that the thing that they got me for? Was it this or is it that? Like how do you feel as a person who channels? Now you're like, damn, I got to watch every word.
I mean, I did something last night. It's like, I don't know if they're going to come after me for that. It's like, geez. Yeah, it's weird. You just have to build up your backup and hope for the best. So, yeah. I mean, it's political connected, so if you stay out of that area, don't threaten anybody.
Okay, no politics. No politics allowed on this channel here tonight, everybody. Then again, for people that watch, this is probably why I get zero censorship, is like I do zero politics anyway, because I'm like marginal. I'm barely interested in it. But let me just say really quickly before we move on. As a person who was actually watching your channeling last night on YouTube, dude, you were on fire in a really, really cool way. And there's been some moments and some beings and some energies that you have been connecting with lately where it's like, I mean, you will go through this process or these moments, and then there's someone that will come in and it's like the whole vibe of the room is suddenly like, this little, everything comes to attention. And so anyway, I'm just going to transition into our first question. But how has that been for you as a professional channeler, a person whose literal duty is doing this strange thing? How has it been since the last time we talked? What kind of stuff's been going on in your world?
Oh, yeah, I feel very small for what has been going on. But there's some positives to it also. You connect to new people and you're doing things you didn't do before, so that's good. But yeah, it's been kind of a little bit of a shock energy. It's like, you kind of dread that. He's like, it might happen at any time. You just don't know what that would trigger them. Sometimes you figure, because I go to areas that are kind of sketchy. So it's like, you never know if they're going to, they don't have guidelines for a lot of stuff I do. If they did, I'd be history. So I kind of push it a little bit. But, that's the high idea of spirituality, right? To go deep. I mean, that's what we're here for. Not everybody's ready for that, but some people are. So might as well I think I'll be okay. I blasted. I got my warning back in December. I got 90 days. I had nothing. So I haven't until October where they removed the strike. So, which I think will be okay, but who knows?
I feel you.
So yeah, it's weird. It's very, you got to try to do the Rumble, and Rumble is still getting there on its technology achievements, but it makes a good backup, and it actually has pretty good viewership even from yesterday. That's decent from what. Yeah. So I'll just stream on there, or stream on YouTube, and knock on wood, and channeled Bill Hicks last night. That was fun. That was different. That was hilarious. That was great.
I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about that. Is that one of the
Hicks? Oh, it should be
prohibited
fine.
things? But let me just say, like, I as a person who doesn't necessarily subscribe to the so and so's actually so and so, Trump's
Yeah.
actually Patton or so and so. Oh, I said one of the keywords. Whoops, sorry guys, I said it.
No, you said
He's
the name.
actually Patton, and Alex Jones. Oh, that was another keyword.
No,
Bill,
it's a good
Alex
joke.
Jones is Bill Hicks. Who's another one? There's a bunch of them. But as a person who's very skeptical of those things, I got to admit, dude, there's a crazy similarity.
I know. It's like, I mean, after I channeled it, I felt more. It's like, yeah, it's like an aspect of Bill Hicks. It's like another. It's like the real version, even with all the controversies, Alex has been through, like with the whole thing in Connecticut. It's like that's something Bill Hicks would do. It's like just put his foot in his mouth, and doesn't mean he's wrong. There might be some truth to a lot of that what he's saying. So yeah, it's weird.
I wonder.
And they do look alike. Their teeth are the same, and people I found something online about Alex Jones. Even people ask Alex, they call him when they see him at a restaurant. They hey Bill, what's going on? It's like.
What is your theory on that? I guess this is a thing that even though you have channeled these beings or these energies, I don't know how many times you've been asked this publicly, but what do you think is actually going on with the people who, I'll just describe it in the most simple way, faces repeat over time. They come back with key elements of that person's identity. And we'll just use Alex Jones and Bill Hicks. It's like there's crazy visual similarity. Is it that the Matrix is only going to make so many, faces and bodies? Is there a soul, resonance? What's your theory on why do identities seem so similar or repeat?
Well, yeah, similar to like Nefertiti is one that's a big one. Even like Obama is like connected to Akhenaten, I believe, the Egyptian pharaoh. Yeah, well, you could say, I guess you can look at this world as like a war, so good entities come here and negative entities come here, so they take certain faces, even Keanu Reeves, they say like he looks like somebody from the past.
Who is it? Do you know? Is it like a famous figure?
I don't think it was someone famous, just someone found a photograph and looked kind of like him from like 1920s or something like that. You can look it up, it's out there. But yeah, it's part of the game. You can say it's part of our, it's the knowledge of that soul. Like with Bill Hicks, is like, yeah, I'm the comedian now, but there's only so far you can go. But now if he's a radio guy, he'll like go all the way, like turn into a psycho or something like that. so yeah, it's just part of our. I think this has been going on through history forever. Like some people have like Michael in their name, and that's part of the archangel energy, Gabriel. Other archangels, so it's just part of, it's knowledge. So people are fractals of different people. Like some people think they're Jesus, and what do they have a following, a huge following. They look like Jesus, and they got so there's Christ consciousness there. So you can say some of those are even some of the preachers, the Pentecost, I don't have the name of it, but a lot of them are acting like Jesus too. All that's contributed to Jesus. All this kind of radical, sermons and all that. So, and some of them have his aspects, some of them don't. But those that look like Jesus, there's a lot of that. So, yeah, it's just a mess. Enjoy the show.
I often wonder what it is, because I do see the similarities. Not to say that I've encountered another version of myself in some ancient photograph. I'll admit, though, I would love to be honest with you. I would love to see that. Have you noticed any versions of yourself from some ancient time that have shown up?
Not ancient. I do have memories of Atlantis, sketchy memories, but not like a statue of myself or anything like that. I don't know if I want to know.
What do you think you were doing in the Atlantean eras? I feel like if you were like me, it probably wasn't that good. But it was such a long life cycles for so many of us. There was probably good and bad. But what comes back to you from those lifetimes, if anything?
Well, I did a meditation back in 2011. I saw all of these millions of people die. I felt like I was involved with it, but that might have been just I felt responsible because I couldn't save them. It's hard to say. That one's a kind of mixed energy. But yeah, I feel like the Atlanteans are on other worlds. I feel like it wasn't just here. They went to other planets. So that's the stuff I remember a little bit, not a whole lot. But
Yeah.
But I don't know, ups and downs, good and bad. Manipulated people and did good, and probably did a lot of bad too on my history. So
I agree. I feel like maybe that's kind of like maybe where we had some contact or some kind of stuff. Because as I know you're aware, and if anyone else here is in the chat, those of us that seem familiar to like one another, those that we see on YouTube, those that we encounter, those that you even find into chat rooms when we're talking about weird things like this, we are literally beings who have done this weird game with each other over and over and over. And if you find yourself getting drawn back to the same people over and over and over again, in my opinion, it's usually because you know them from other lives. And to me, in my opinion, I think we have definitely done this weird thing before. And I know for me, when I look back on the Atlantean timelines, which is crazy to say it because some people will judge you on it now. But like for me, I look back on me and I'm like, whoa, I was doing the literal opposite of what I was like the literal dark side, and we were proud of it. And sure, there was other good things as well. But what do you have you encountered those very contrasting elements of self, like the world, the world destroying versions?
Oh, well, yeah, I've had world destroying lifestyles, like something similar to like Thanos, or worse. Well, I feel like I came from like at least my aspect of it came from another universe where you're treated pretty poorly and you just went after everybody. Like you're on attack all the time. So conquering planets was no big deal. You just conquer the weak, basically. Of course, after a while, it catches up to you. But yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's another thing, like activating your power. Well, it's those that are the villain use their powers the most. Those that are good guys, like whatever. But when you're the villain, you want to, you want to win. So you do everything you can to win. So yeah,
totally.
So that's where a lot of your powers come from, I think. Even like with Jesus, I think he has some dark stuff. That's why he had the power he had, and it's like something like that. So it just goes on and on.
What do you think about the idea, which I know a lot of people have talked about this? Some of us might call it, it's like a difficult triggering thing to talk about, but a lot of people say that within Jesus's history, for those that subscribe to the idea that he was a physical being, which I'm nearly positive, it feels like there's a very tangible record within what we would call, time, that there's a real Jesus. But there's a lot of talk about how when he was a child, he actually killed another child. Have you ever heard that story?
I've never heard of that one. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, who knows if it's real, but supposedly the story is, and every time I tell it, I'm like, is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just spinning some bullshit here. But this is what I was told, was that one of Jesus's early experiences was understanding the power of his anger. And it was said that somehow, where between 5 and 6 years old, he was made angry by another child and killed that child through his anger. And I honestly don't know. For those of you guys that are out there going, what? I don't know if it's true, but that's why we're asking. And so what do you think?
I don't know. It's a possibility, but of course people can put trickster energy out there too. That Jesus is such a bizarre, either died on a cross, he didn't die on the cross, was it real, is he not real, and you just can't, it's all different timelines, different mess. So, yeah, it's like, I feel like there is like Atlantean lifetimes where he wasn't also wonderful. He did have dark side, and the dark side brings out more. Of course, even during his life, he was kind of like the end of the world. I'm going to come back, and all. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, just say stuff like that. So yeah, because he's the one who put that out there. It's like, yeah, great. So yeah.
And yet it's also weird because, as far as I can tell, and I mean this very, very sincerely when I say this, because I know a lot of people talk about a lot of what we might call false light, Jesus connections or energies. Yeah. But honestly, for those of you guys that are watching, we might joke about it, but as far as I can tell, and maybe I'm wrong, I always get weird saying this, but there is a very tangible, what we might call the actual consciousness of Jesus, very active in what I would call a 4th or 5th dimensional frequency range. It's literally present, it's sentient, and as far as I can tell, it's a frequency that we sort of tune ourselves to now, and then it's almost like you will sort of embody that frequency. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I believe so, definitely. Well, I feel like people can during his time did have the ability to heal pretty powerfully. It came from Lemuria, Atlantis, and so on. But obviously, that didn't go so well for a lot of people. They started going after people like that. So obviously nowadays people are more shut down. But I think people can reactivate a lot of those powers. Do they want all the ridicule? Do they want all that? So, but people definitely, people are connected to Christ consciousness. That's why some people look like Jesus. So the power. We're coming back to all. As you go multi-dimensional, it's going to get so more confusing. As you know,
Right.
All these different versions of everything.
Right. And all the layers of like the relationships that we've had with the many different versions of ourselves throughout time.
Well, what if you run into another version of it? Well, some people have relationships with another version of themselves. It's like that one's like, how's that going to go sit with somebody? That's another version of me that you're having kids with. It's like, oh man, some people are okay with it. Others are like, what are you talking about?
Man, I feel you. We're going to have to get really cool about a bunch of really weird stuff really quickly. You know that meme where it's like you're going to have to get real cool real fast, all right? we have a question in the chat. I'm going to immediately and awkwardly transition to a question that was posed by, looks like it's Leyland. What's up, Leyland? Good to see you again. Thanks for rolling through. She says, question, while Ivan is channeling, what's the strongest sense that he receives information with? Is the communication primarily audible, visual, or thought forms? How does it vary from each being? That's actually a very smart question.
The communication, let's see, I'll read over the question. Well, at first it just comes through, like before the being comes through, I can just sense their presence. And it's just more just feelings usually. Sometimes audible, depending on what it is, but they just give me a little sense here and there. Like for video topics, I just get a sense. When a being that comes through me, this like when I bring a being through, obviously it's all audible, obviously. But before they come, I mean, if I can just connect to them consciously, I can. Just basically I hear them, through my own energy. But how does it vary? It depends on, it's every being works differently, but usually they're all audible. They all talk. They're all, you go by your feelings or you can just get a sense of them. So they're all about the same, actually. They all,
Feel you.
Visual, I don't get visuals very often. Like I channeled a feline for the webinar last week and I saw like a kind of a red fur, which I don't normally see the being I'm channeling. So I just know sometimes I get a visual of a bird, like so it's a carrion being, I can channel that, but it's like grays, I can feel them. So but usually it's just sense.
Yeah. Have there been any beings that you might have connected with recently that have actually been difficult to kind of work with or difficult to maybe kind of speak with? Or, and, I think it's probably a lot different for me because I might connect and, like we all have our own individual process of like connecting. But I've noticed in the work that I do that sometimes I'll connect with the guides or the energies around a person. And it's almost like it just comes not necessarily in a different language, but there's a different format or there's a different flow, or it's like something gets turned upside down and I have to sit there with it and like, I think it's this. I think we're saying that. Have you had any encounters like that?
Well, it depends on if the person's ready. Like if they're going through a lot of stuff, sometimes you can't get a whole lot from their guide. Sometimes the people are blocking and not aware of it. It all depends on the situation. So if they have heavy energy, or sometimes the guides are just difficult to deal with. So that happens every now and then. So it comes and goes, and some people want to see their future and all that, and you can't always see that. It's, or here, just give me everything, tell me everything. You can't always.
Yeah, that's always the best one, right?
Pull back. Yeah, the guides pull back.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but if the person is very open, you can get more. But some guides are just a pain, though. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, some guides also want to tell you, or they're not supposed to know for some whatever reason. The person's not supposed to know. Yeah, happens all the time, actually.
Have you ever encountered a person? I know we're going down all this weird, crazy, like this wild road here. Have you ever encountered a person that had what we might call false guides? Because this was kind of an area or a subject that was posed to me a few years back. And it was like a buzzword that came around over and over and over again. They're like, so and so has false guides. Those were false guides, and that was not real. And it was weird for me because not that that was true or untrue, but what I realized at that stage of my life that was weird. That was big 2019 energy. And that was when I started to realize, I was like, well, it looks like, as far as I can tell, people's what we might call spirit guide entourage is constantly changing. And depending on what you're dealing with and what you're going through in a certain stage of your life, you're going to have totally different beings around you with totally different ideas. And so, but that said, do you think it's possible that we would have false guides or fake energy? What do you think?
They call it tricksters. Yeah. Tricksters are going to come in. That's why some people channel all this crazy stuff. The world's going to end, and you were a frog in your past life, or whatever, you're Hitler or whatever it is, or you're Mary Magdalene. Yeah, people channel this stuff all the time. Yeah, and it's part of the warning phase of it. Yeah, tricksters. I mean, they give you kind of neat stuff. I guess it's kind of fun, but I guess it's fun for some people. But yeah, some groups, I think, are channeling false guides all the time. Like parasite guides. It's just really bad. But that's what they want. So for some people, that's their journey. Yeah, to connect to messed up guides. Yeah, so definitely. Yeah, you got parasite beings, and they just say, "Oh, those are normal guides," and you're just like, "Are you sure about that?" It's like, okay, that's your deal. So, but yeah, guides change all the time. Usually, people can have like the same, at least main guide. It all depends. It's different for everybody, but you can have the main guide forever. But yeah, the rotation of guides for sure. You can wear them out, they don't have nothing to offer you, or whatever it was. Then definitely, there's always a rotation for sure.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to renegotiate the spiritual, like guidance or whoever's around, almost like, okay, I'm done with this energy. I want to bring that one. And I know that might be an oversimplified question, but I have gotten it many times. What do you think?
Yes, yeah. That's why I encourage you to fire their guides. I was taught that when I first got like in 2014. It's like a guy was telling the mentor that we're learning from. He said, my guides I'm talking to be in a meditation, then fire them. Just tell them you're going to fire them. Just go in your meditation until you're fired. So it's like ever since then, I've been like, I'm on a tangent. Yeah, it's very important. It really is. If you feel things aren't right for you, it's good to do a clearing. It really, because you can keep going into the wrong direction. It can really take in it wrong. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm just going with the flow, and you end up going the wrong direction. That can't happen. So it's really tricky. I think most people are going to be okay, but are some people? I mean, I've run into that. I run into like a couple of weeks ago, back in the middle of last month. I felt things were just not right. So I did energy cleansing. I got candles. I did everything I could. Mantras to fix the. I'm working on a channeled book. Actually, I'm working on a channeled book on Jesus, and I think that kind of messed up my timeline a little bit.
It's cool that it's very interesting to hear you say this, especially the Jesus part, because you're actually leading me to one of the actual literal questions I was going to ask you. And that is that, recently we've heard, you've talked about it a bit. You've also done a channeled writing from Lucifer. Yeah. And, I'm just going to say it because, there's going to be people in the spiritual soul group family that are like, well, Ivan Teller did a book channeling of Lucifer. What? Well, obviously that means, there's got to be something evil there, right? Clearly, it's clearly pure evil. How was that experience? And first off, that's first part of the question. And then question number 2 is, how interesting is that you did a Lucifer channeling, and then after that, Jesus rolls in? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, I had some, been I wasn't looking for it. I was going to do one about Eve. I did Adam and Eve, book of Adam. I'm going to do Eve. And then I kind of got directed. I don't want to go into all details of it, but I got directed by other individuals, physical people. I got indications like, was it for this? Was it for that? It's like, sure. It wasn't what I was looking for, and it's weird. It's good. I didn't see him. I never saw him as the bad guy. I mean, like there's a dark side to him. Like we're experiencing his dark. So Lucifer, as people know, help us learn. So we all have like a devil side of us. So his devil side's here. So he goes to hell to figure himself. Like, you can't figure anything out here, so he goes to the lower realms to figure himself out there. He's just more comfortable with it than a lot of people. I don't see him as a fallen angel. I feel like he's just chosen for it. And there is Jesus in there, and it's funny. Lucifer is the one healing people and doing Jesus work, and Jesus is kind of the villain. So it's like, that's in the channel book, and they kind of. But some people see him as the same person. Some people say they're brothers. I think the CIA, something on the CIA site, like when there are documents that they're actually brothers. But
well, really, the CIA commented on that. It's
like a document somewhere.
Well, clearly, it must be true. But
I know.
But seriously, I did not know that. Huh?
But him, those two is the same. I can definitely see that. But that's not the way it was written. It wasn't written like that. Just kind of kept them separate. But yeah, Lucifer is more like a healer. He has two females that are, and his wife. One's Aphrodite. I can't remember the second one, but Sophia or something like that. And he kind of, he gets tested by them. So, I'm going to make another one about him too later on.
Interesting.
And it just brought the Jesus one. And Jesus, like, kind of like, of course, going to do Lucifer and the Jesus one. So the Jesus one is going to start off as a female Jesus, a female healer. But it goes into, she's like the mother of Jesus. So it's different. It's not Mother Mary, it's somebody else.
Huh.
It goes to different versions of Earth. So I'm working on it now. Other versions where it also has connections with Leonardo da Vinci. It goes into some of that. It goes into other versions of Earth where he's not crucified yet. He sees that. It's like, do I want that for me?
Wow.
So I'm not that guy yet.
So he saw it like coming.
Yeah, it's like another version of Earth. He sees it. He's trying to somewhat avoid it. So other beings are trying to walk him down to be that person. He's trying to avoid it and what I'm picking up on, it's like he's been like a pope in another version of Earth, a pope, part of Atlantis. That was in the last book. So yeah, there's other stuff, but I'm not telling too much. But anyway,
no, it's actually really good because this is a thing that I've been like wondering about, and I specifically wanted to ask you about, like, what was that experience like channeling Lucifer, which I know you've done. I've seen other ones where you've channeled him, but
Lucifer, I see him as regular guy. Just when I channel him, he can easily go into someone's darkness. It's like he's not judging. It's just like just lay it out. I'm cool with it. Well, other angels, it might be, well, I don't know about that, or they know about it, but Lucifer is comfortable with everything.
Interesting.
So, Lucifer has a definitely different energy. I mean, I've been told by others that have been in the webinar that this is his world, which hasn't been really shown to me how that works exactly. But he's like born into, like he was given, like he was like the best person.
Or he sees it as his world, I guess we could say.
He can always look at it that way too. Yeah.
Huh.
So how cool is it to be like the devil?
Dude, depending on how you want to look at the situation, it could be the coolest, most optimal thing, or it could be the most frightening. And you know what I mean? It kind of depends on which side. And here's a statement that I know a lot of people probably figured I would say at like one point. One thing we do know, whether you subscribe to it or not, is that the law of one blinks at neither the light nor the dark. It is available for all. For everyone. Doesn't care, bad or good, whatever, which is also weird. You're like, oh, okay.
Lucifer, like I said, when I channel him, I feel like he can go darker than in a good way, though. He can go into someone's darkness without me getting attacked or anything like that, or he's just comfortable. He's just comfortable with his own darkness. Look at it that way.
Which some would argue would be a very, very healthy thing, a complete comfortability with the shadow element of ourself, which actually here, this leads us to one of the questions from the chat. Thank you, Gail Emmer. Ivan, how do you not let your own energy get messed up from connecting with so many other consciousnesses through channeling? Not to say that that's a thing that happens to everyone, but here's the thing before you answer that. Sure. I know that me just doing live streams every now and then, it's like, dude, some like crazy energy will come through. How do you deal with all this stuff?
Rest, sleep is all how I eat too. I try to eat healthy. It's all I don't have toxic people in my life either, so that helps. Toxic people physically can really I've had like an energy attack recently from a toxic person. So that's worse. These guys I can handle. The spirit beings. Yeah, sometimes I'm like when I was doing the Lucifer book, I was getting energy attacked by all kinds of beings like, don't do that. You're gonna pay for this. Like I was getting attacked left and right.
Yeah.
You just kind of just clear it out. That's why I got a candle. I have a candle on all the time. I run
Nice.
incense all the time.
Same here.
I have like this kind of like reversal candles I just got recently, kind of reverse the energies.
Yes, actually. Yeah. Whoa, that's a trip. Anyway, go on.
Yeah,
Interesting
yeah. So
synchronicity.
yeah, you can go into that too if you want to go and give more people. Yeah, I just got into that recently because last month I felt something because that Jesus book, like I said, kind of messed me up a little bit. So it's like because you're writing this stuff, it's like, do we want him to be doing that? It's like when I was doing the Lucifer book, it's like, okay, strike me down if you don't want me to do this.
And they didn't. Clearly,
I'm still here.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, energy attack, they give me a lot of that. But when I channel beings, it's not too bad. I close up. When a being leaves, I'm cleared out. When I do a live stream, I can when they're out of me, they're out. And yeah, I might be a little bit drained because especially it's like 12 o'clock at night when I do a channeling and I've already answered questions for people. It's like, oh man, I just sleep, rest, and just that you can. But yeah, incense I use all the time. Candles, always have a candle on.
Same here. Literally right now. Every single time we come in here, there's a little incense thing, a little candle burning. Totally. Yeah.
Totally. Said the reversal candles. You want to add to anything on that or?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's first off, it's very, very cool to hear you say that. One of the things that Honora has been doing really heavily for the past few months, which I'll admit, I might not be as well suited to the sort of candle modality, but I've noticed my wife, it's like she's a natural, literal genius with it. And it's like she just organically started doing all sorts of candle magic and herbs and like preparing the candles and the proper candles, and like this candle does this thing and this one does that one and these herbs do that. And so it's an interesting synchronicity to hear someone else mention that. Because here, I'll just say this is kind of a totally different way to prove the efficacy of it. But one of the ways in which we recently tested this, not that it was a result of it, but my son, who's in all the way across the other side of the country, he was like, Dad, I'm trying to get a job at such and such, trying to do this. And he asked us to burn a candle for him. And most of the people in my family, they're like, oh, really? Wow. You're still doing that thing, huh? Okay. So I'm not well like received, but my son's, he's still he's very much, his doors are open. And he actually asked for it. And sure enough, literally 2 days later, it was like, I didn't get that job, but I got this whole other one. And it was way, way better. And I was like, wow. Oh, I wonder if, and we've had a number of other situations, negative ones where there was a need for healing. There was ones where, I'll just say it, there was ones where someone, maybe I shouldn't talk about, but someone needed to get handled in a way that needed to be handled. And she was also a part of that process. And so anyway, I just think it's a frequency that's rising on the earth plane. And I think that certain people are just going to pick one up and go, oh, I realize I can use this thing. And so, anyway.
Yeah, I felt around the middle of last month, I felt an energy that was not mine, kind of messing with my timeline. It's like, okay, I've heard about these reversal candles. I guess now I never use that stuff. Like I never need it. I feel fine. But the first time I felt like, okay, bring out the big guns. So, and I think it worked. I don't know. I got kicked off of YouTube after I started using it, but I'm back. So there's something. Yeah. So totally. I don't know if that had anything to do with anything, but
I think it did actually. This is just my opinion, but I mean, not in the negative sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Using the candle had a beneficial quality. One of the things that was shown to me months ago, when I think what's funny is I think you and I actually talked about it when you came over to our old house in Riverview. We had talked about, I think, Orion energy and how I had a lot of Orion contacts, and through one of the beings or the networks of beings that I had spoken with, who I believed were in Mintaka or within the region at that time, one of the things they showed me, and it's well known, but it was that we one of the ways in which we would remain in contact with some of the soul groups around us and the beings was through the natural portal effect of the candle. And so whether it would be used for a reversal or a banishment energy or as a conduit, it was a thing that was sort of rising on the earth plane in terms of availability, in terms of power. And so it's not only, for the process of reversal, but also for connectivity. Because I will consciously, and sorry to go on a rant here on this, but I consciously connect to the candle. I will consciously talk to it. Before I close out all my sessions, at the end of the day, I will literally go, "Thank you. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow," or like whatever words
That's great. Yeah,
before I blow it out. Anyway,
yeah,
not to go
that's
on a rant,
good.
but yeah.
Well, yeah, like the reversal candle, I didn't put it in like an intention to like attack anybody or anything. Just to light it, clear out whatever is going on, send it back. And it did feel like it did work over a couple of days, but it's very strange. I feel like your whole timeline's frozen or something's just odd. But yeah, channeling these books does a lot of waving. He's like, the being's like, what is he doing? Don't do that. And then you gotta get protected by it. I haven't been struck by lightning, knock on wood. So yeah, who knows? It just changed, especially the Jesus energy. That's kind of, especially as like a female Jesus starts out with and goes to multidimensional Earths, and
Whoa,
it's like
very interesting.
Anyway, so just
sacrilegious, like to those of us in the organized like religious circles, it's
I think some of us are used to that.
Blasphemy, it's pure.
Well, some
blasphemy.
of us have the name heretic. To our time.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, all this is heretic any work that we're doing anyway, right? So
it certainly is,
especially in YouTube and all that, and just so just that's what all spiritual work is. High vibrations, multi-dimension, but you got to dive into it, if you want to test the waters. Just because everybody's experience is so different, as you know, it's hard to. That's why it feels a little bit isolating, because you can't always relate to everybody. It's just the way it is. Just do the best you can.
Oh, totally. And I think a big part of that, the non-relatability of certain elements of the spiritual experience recently, has to do with people kind of co-signing this weird false light kind of timeline through the disclosure scene that everyone's grabbing onto, giving their power away to galactic federations and disclosure celebrities and figureheads of like, well, so and so had a bunch of really good stories, let's buy into that version of reality. Which, this is me awkwardly leading into my next question. As a person, for you, who is in contact every day with a host of multidimensional non-physical beings, and I say this also as a person who, I always say it like this, for better or worse, I'm in contact. For better or worse, I'm working with some form of non-physical energy every day. But as a person that does this every day, what do you think about the sort of just the wildness of our current climate, where suddenly everyone's in a secret space program, suddenly everyone's a part of the Galactic Federation, suddenly everybody's connected with the Andromeda Galaxy? What do you perceive has been going on with the adoption of all of these just timelines and co-agreed upon stuff? Like, what do you think about all that? I know that's a loaded bag. Go ahead.
No, it's good. Well, first off, with the Galactic Federations, it feels warm and fuzzy. There is some good stuff to it, but from the Save Us and all that, I think there are some beings that would want to,
certainly,
but they can't. So, and they get, they're not perfect. So I think some of those are kind of valid. Like, we're going to come and help you and all that. And then it's like, what are you doing? It's like, no, that's part of our Earth growing up. But the secret space program, I feel like a lot of that is, I think it's a good thing. Some people are dealing with it right now. There is something going on here that we can't quite figure it out. But I don't know if we can get actually the full details of it here. Some people think they are. Some of this is stuff that's happened a long time ago.
Yes.
It's like your galactic, your Palladian life, your Syrian, whatever.
They're bleeding over into this one.
Yeah, it's like, especially been through trauma. I have a friend here, he had memories of being on the moon. And he's not into any of this stuff. He was on the moon and one of his friends was dead on the moon. And it was a galactic lifetime. But it's like the trauma of that. He's not into this stuff either. He just had a memory of it. So
what's weird is just the way that it shows up here feels instantly true. There's a different frequency that comes in, even with a fragment of an experience. We're like, so and so had this, and it's like sometimes you'll just be like, sure, yeah, and then sometimes it's like, Oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Huh?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, that's
That's
a
some
real
heavy
thing.
shit. That's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like he has no agenda, nothing, no podcast, no anything. But yeah, I feel like it is. I mean, it is a healing. It is making things more complicated now with the secret space. But like as I said, he's like a lot of this real secret stuff. You won't be able to say it. You'll be dead. It's like,
that's a very good.
it's like
That's a good
so
observation.
whatever is going on. I mean, it's part of the awakening, but I don't think people are realizing. Like they talked about Project Camelot, or I forget some of those. It's like
Right.
they did actually have connections of secret space program people, but then
Mhm.
they end up disappearing and all that. It's like that's probably more of the real version of it. I don't
Yeah,
think they're just disappearing because they feel like it. I think some of them just do go away. So there is something definitely going on here. But us
I
tapping
totally
into
agree with you.
something happening here is like it might not be as fantastic as people might think. I think it's more. I feel like it's more primitive, like something of an alien movie. At least that's what I'm getting. Of course, we have a lot of movies about alien parasites.
I know.
So,
All of a sudden, right? Imagine that. It keeps showing up in popular fiction. Must be nothing, though. Clearly.
but there's a movie I just saw. It's another language called Sputnik. It's like, yeah, but the parasite is connected to the guy, so it's kind of gross. My God. But
Oh
anyway,
no, go for it. Tell us.
well,
Tell us.
the parasite's living within the guy, and he throws it up,
Yeah.
and then the parasite is controlled by him. They're like one person, and the government's trying to use it for assassinations and stuff like that.
Dude, there's a lot of realness in that, man. I have viewed and seen things like centipedes and scorpions inside people's bodies, like literal parasitic consciousness
Yeah,
within people. That's it. So wait, Sputnik. That's what you said it's called.
yeah. It's a Russian language movie. It just recently came out, I think.
Here's what's wild. I might be able to watch it if it's in a language other than English. Some of you guys in the chat know this. Ivan doesn't know this, you guys. I've seemingly lost the ability to watch television and movies. I can watch people on like YouTube if there's a chat and it gives me something to like interact with. But I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's like I've lost ability to watch anything for more than 30 minutes or so at a time. And so I'm always like, it's like I want to see movies. I want to be able to sit there with it. And I've noticed that things that are not in English, somehow I can sit with it longer. But before I get lost in it, I just want to say one other thing, and then I will softly change the subject, because people have kind of criticized me recently for being like, what's up with you, Matthew? You were at a secret space conference, and now 2 months later, you're saying all this weird stuff about secret space program people. I guess I should just clear that up, because I am, and I am very critical of that process for people, because I think some of us are going to have to be. No, I am not a non-believer in it. It's a literal fact. I'm just sticking to what I have viewed and what I'm seeing from a lot of people in our spiritual and multidimensional soul group. And this is why I'm kind of saying this, because I want to get your viewpoint on this. What I have been observing is it's not that people were taken and spent time in this life cycle going through 20 and backs. While that is a thing that happened to a lot of people, what most of us have signed up for in this human journey is the realization of true multidimensionality. And what we're going to discover is that there's a couple of concurrently running parallel versions of us who are so close to our wavelength of consciousness that during this life cycle, we're going to cross the streams many, many times. And one of the reasons why we can cross the streams with that higher technological version of reality is because it's very, very close to this one. And so there's a literal other version of you right now that's existing in a world that's very much like a secret space program or Star Wars mixed with Harry Potter and Star Trek and all of the wild kind of fictional things that have been presented in this life cycle. And so what I see is that, and maybe that's just me thinking I know what's up, because clearly I don't know everything, but what I see is a lot of people kind of coming in contact with their multidimensionality and finding the other versions of themselves and going, oh, you know what? I realize it. Check it out. I was taken in third grade. Why? Because someone else said it, and that feels like, and that's the way, that's how it happens, right? When in reality, you're experiencing the literal bleed over of other worlds. And anyway, watch out. I'll go on and on, but what do you think?
Well, yeah, especially if you have a secret space program like that, it's a lot more exciting than this one. You're going to be holding on to that one. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that
beautiful thing.
it might be just commercialized now everybody now have a memory of it. Before that wasn't the case, so it's getting a little. I mean, it's okay. It's part of disclosure, but there are some people that are literally going through traumas. Like they really feel like someone's following them and all. They're not making it up. That's
yeah, totally.
That's some serious stuff. But yeah, it's getting kind of. It's a good thing. It's just it's complicated. It's just, but yeah, it's. I mean, think about it. You're adventurer. You have super guns. You know, you're bulletproof. You watch Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, come on, man. It's like, sounds cool, man. Yeah, so.
I definitely want to be in that version of a reality. Definitely. Yeah. Although, if I could choose right now, I would choose kind of like a Harry Potter and Star Wars one over the Star Trek version. Just because it feels like there would be a more organic path of learning for me, where I'm like, yeah, totally, it's kind of like Harry Potter and Star Wars. I'll be like a Jedi and a wizard, you know.
Yeah, no, it makes it. Yeah. The Star Trek is,
which is also cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool.
I love it. Oh yeah, the wizard part, the space wizard, the space monk, and I think like entertainment right now is so bizarre right now. It's like the soul of entertainment is just not there. It's like it does exist. It just doesn't feel like feels like it's something missing. It's like the rawness of the 70s. That's what we need. I mean, if we're going back to the 70s, we're going back to the 70s politically, technically, gas wise.
Actually, we are, aren't we?
Well, why don't we go back art wise, or you get raw people being real with themselves, and the people do exist. Obviously, just you're not seeing entertainment as much as we could. That made things a little bit easier here, but yeah, but that SSP stuff, yeah, it's just it's kind of like an explosion, and eventually it'll calm down, and we'll all just sort of, those are fascinating lifetimes for sure. The magic.
Totally, dude. I'm staying with them constantly. I'm thinking of them constantly. I've also said this in the past, but the versions of me I found in a number of those realities, the crazy thing is they're not. I'll just say it. It's like the opposite of me. It's like a shadow self where I'm like, yeah, I'm putting devices in people's heads and weird things. And it's like, and there's pride in it. And it's like, this is what, it's the best thing we can do. And there's other version of me here on Earth in like 2022 in a little apartment going, I'm trying to help the humans heal our chakras, We're trying to, do our little thing.
I've been told this, when I started doing this, people are saying, what about that world that you're taking over worlds like, and you enjoyed it. It's like, that's not me.
That's how it was. That's what we were doing.
But in middle school, it was really weird. I was walking home with other kids, and something triggered in me. I saw somebody that was weak, and I wanted to fight him. It's like I felt so bad afterwards. It's like this isn't me, but it gives you kind of. It didn't go anywhere, luckily.
Right, but it's like a feeling and a thought.
It gives me like the reptilian life where you're just having adrenaline. It's like you kick anybody's ass, it's weak. It's like you're built like that. Yeah. It's like, and you're taking over planets because they're just weak. You don't think anything of it. The thing I still see it. It's like taking two worlds and crashing into each other. How the hell do you do that?
Actually, it's weird. And then you say certain things and it's like, somehow you can see the clashing, like the colliding of two worlds. So
not just a moon collide of two planets. Like take them both and just, I can even feel how it was done. How you take over, you go to the Earth's core and you screw around with the core of the planet, the chakras of it, and you lower its energy so it can be invaded. It's bad. I can literally tap into that stuff.
A little bit like maybe what's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like, did some of us have something to do with a lot of this, It's like, probably, I don't remember, but some of us might have caused a lot of this, so we come here to fix it.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the point, too. It's like, if we can get away with turn this world into what it is, then we come back to repair it. So...
It makes sense that we do. I think that they even say that in the law of one, not to always go back to that. Sorry, people who are like, why is Matthew keep referencing law of one? No. But they do talk about it, how, during the process, or, I guess we'll just call it the ascension journey through all the densities of consciousness, that they say inevitably, you will come back to help yourself and go toward the light in this weird way. You know, they come around 6 or 7 density and they're like, you know, I'm going to go back and do it, play. I'm going to play the other side of the game now. And so it's almost like you're going to go there inevitably anyway, which is probably a cheap and weak thing to say, but it seems like it's kind of like that, right?
Well, another side is does your soul have enough bravery to go to your dark side like that and then deal with the karma? It's like, because a lot of people are going to learn from your darkness. And of course, eventually it'll get stopped. So, you know, it's like not everybody has the guts for that. It's like just be a mercenary, whatever it is. Like at World War II, I think some of those officers, you know, those Germans, probably they ended their incarnation. Like they're not, some of them reincarnated again, but we're still healing from that. We're still healing from Vietnam. We're still healing from the Civil War. I think some of the censorship we're going through, and some people are remembering their French, the lifetimes of the French Revolution is what I was getting.
Interesting.
And they're here. Yeah, the truthers, like they've been kicked off of everything.
Yeah.
The truthers, like, hey, you know,
it was from that era. They're re-experiencing it. Yeah.
Some of the vibe I got from that. Yeah, and the American Revolution. I think the French Revolution was a little bit different because that was like totally screw you. You know, that was American was not great, but French was like the French were just saying, you know, you guys can pay our taxes and just screw off basically. So people are feeling
French are wild, dude. Any way you look at it, I say that with respect, by the way, for all you French people. No, for real though. I mean that sincerely. French are wild, dude. They, like,
I agree. I feel those energies all the time from France and all that. But it's China's gearing up for something.
Oh, I know, right? Which we're probably not allowed to talk about, but I'm going to go there anyway. Before we ask about, somebody asked about crop circles. We're going there next. But do you see that going anywhere? I mean, honestly, I'll just be real. I was praying that a weird missile would, you know, go and hit, you know, Air Force 5 or like whatever jet she was taking, probably Air Force 9. You know what I mean? It's like a Cessna somehow. But you know, it's like I was praying that something was going to take that down. But then it didn't. It looked like posturing. What do you see? What do you?
Well, I'm not getting the clearest energy of it. Remember during 2020, you know, that was kind of a buildup. Even with Russia, that was a buildup. So we're kind of seeing a buildup again. It might clear out, but I don't know. It's like they're kind of serious. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. If it's going to cause chaos, remember the chaos rule. If it's going to cause chaos, because it's a chaos planet, we'll have to wait and see. So
yeah,
it's possible. I don't see why not. You know, they'll really shift this in another timeline for sure.
It definitely would. You know how I see it currently is if I was one of the world powers outside of the U.S. and I was sitting there going, hey, man, how come these idiots always get everything? They get this, they get that. They always have this. America. You know, I would be in the background talking to so and so, going, hey, Vladimir, hey, Xi. Okay, dude, check it out, you guys. You're gonna get them from this side. A couple months later, I'm gonna go from this side. We're gonna get them from that, and we're gonna just weaken the hell out of them. Then about 18 months later, we're just gonna take them out entirely. And it does feel like if they were smart, and you know they are, and also aren't, that's what they would be doing. They're like, let's just totally dilute everything these guys have. And as we've seen through the sort of great. You know what it is? I won't say the keyword, the great blank that's going on right now. That's literally the plan through some method, through some way. Do you think it's going to be successful, considering we're living on kind of the chaos timeline right now, or a version of it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think something that's inevitable can happen for sure. I think it probably should. Unfortunately, they'd say that, but
no, it's okay. I agree.
We'll find out soon. I mean, we need to change anyway. I know it sounds bad. We need some things. Probably U.S. will probably become weaker over time. It's already happening now, but just change. We just need. Of course, we're already invaded by China anyway, right? So, yeah.
Probably. I think I just heard like a little AI going, what, China? Come on, guys. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna watch as we awkwardly change. The subject here, because there was actually a question that came through, which is rightfully a very good question, one that I have not considered for a while, but I think it's worthy of asking. It was from producer Henry. What's up, Henry? What's your opinion on the crop circles phenomenon? I saw a documentary from Patty Greer. She says the crop circles actually come from within the earth. Was wondering about that. What do you think?
That's so weird. No, I think
Right.
it's actually a ship doing it. I don't see why the government would be doing it. I think it's more alien. I mean, I guess the government could be doing it because they got nothing better to do, but I think it's more alien. They're giving, the energies, Arcturians, Polypleiadians, too. Those things look too alien they're just talking to us. So I don't think it's within the Earth, though. I think they're just giving us messages, healing our planet, but, sending signals to other alien beings. Usually it happens in England, I think. I think there's other places, but England seems to be a hot spot for. We look at the British monarchy. It's like, I wonder why.
Yeah. That's a good question though. To me, it feels like alien graffiti. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, dude, let's go down and tag up that field, bro. Okay, check it out. I'm gonna do a really, really sweet flower of life mandala, dude. The humans love those. Come on, let's do it, man. They're gonna like make this whole thing, and one day they were like, okay, check it out, you guys. I got a stencil for an alien head, and somehow they created that. But in all seriousness, though, because I'm talking about kind of a flippant way. There's been a lot of documentaries, a lot of big questions about it. It still exists as one of the really wild, mysterious phenomenon. Like whether you want to make a joke out of it or not, it's like, damn, how does that actually happen?
I think it's real. I think it's. If the government's doing it, man, they got nothing else to do. They're doing all this alien tech back. I think that's the alien energies talking to us. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I mean, if you want for disclosure, you can share it to people. It's like, how is that even? Why would anybody put all that effort? Some people have tried to make it themselves. It probably takes all day. Those ones
looked horrible, though. I've seen those. I saw the documentary. I think there was one group. It was like a father and son. This guy and his adult son went out and were trying to do. Yeah. And you're like, dude, nobody's gonna fall for that. Sorry.
It's like a tattoo, graffiti. Yeah, it just has it does bring up a new energy. It has. I mean, they look great. They look so alien. It's like who here would ever come up with something? Of course, people probably can, but. Who would have the technologies to do something like that?
I would like to see more crop circles. I pray that in the coming years, as things get wild and crazy on Earth, that we get a normalized phenomenon of fields and places in the U.S. And I don't know, that'll be a fun distraction from the wildness of our existence. Kind of like the monolith. Remember that was out a couple years ago, and you could tell somebody made it in their backyard.
That was cool though. That was cool.
Monolith appeared, and it's like, okay.
That was so neat, though. I mean, just have it pop up around like that. That was, you want to believe it as real. It's like, all right, the aliens are finally showing up. Obviously, it wouldn't be that obvious, but it's still pretty cool, though. But the whole thing with the Georgia Guidestones.
Oh,
I think we'll talk about that.
Thank you for mentioning. Oh, Lord, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna intro that because I do have a disclaimer, which maybe it was wrong, but. When that first happened, I'm really glad you mentioned it because this reminds me of what I was going to ask you about. When it first happened, it was almost so accessible to me, which could be a warning sign because I'm still learning. I mean, here's the thing. I might do this professionally, you guys. Just because I did thousands of these doesn't mean you're doing them right. But I would spend a very dedicated chunk of time really looking at the Georgia Guidestones. And for me, what I saw was people in a car throwing or putting a thing you could even say aiming a thing if you want to get technical at the lower portion of one of those stones. It was not to me it was so accessible and clear that I was like, looks like somebody vandalized it and blew it up. And so that was my initial analysis. And here we are a few months later, and it's like everyone's like, clearly it was a drone, and it was this, and it was the aliens, and it was Ted Turner, and it was, this and that. What do you think it was?
Oh, I think their plan, maybe a secret society is involved with it. Mm-hmm. And it was devoured because they're putting some of that into play, it feels like. So I don't think it's like the white hats have won. Doesn't mean that we're going to go down in population, but they just didn't want it out there anymore. It's very strange. Yeah. It gets bombed and then they tear it down. It's like shouldn't there be all these
12 hours gone?
And it's like, shouldn't there be all this news about it? It's like, oh, that's kind of terrorism, isn't it? A little bit. I mean,
Right.
it feels like it's like ingrown and nothing. It's gone. Just we moved on.
Like it
So,
was meant to be destroyed. Have any of
yeah,
the beings you've been working with, did any of them mention anything about,
yeah.
well, it was this, it was that? What do they say it was?
Well, I channeled it way back when it happened. I can't remember the details, but I feel like it was just, yeah, whatever mission. They just don't want to be seen anymore because they're doing some parts of it now. So,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, yeah, like I said, it's not like they're going to wipe us out completely or anything like that. But some secret society didn't want it. It felt like Skull and Bones energy, but I could be wrong. It's hard. It's a hard one to tap into for obvious reasons. I'm not sure if you want to know.
Yeah.
I think it blew up at 333 too, which is even kind of more messed up.
And then within 10 seconds of the blast, there was a car driving away from the scene.
Yeah,
Nobody showed
flies.
that part. They didn't
I saw
want to
that.
acknowledge that part, but there's a car that drives away. You know what I mean? To
Oh, yes.
me, having seen that, which is crazy, because when I did the remote viewing on it before I knew the car was there, I thought what I was shown was something that looked like a square vehicle. Clearly, it was a totally different vehicle, but I saw almost like a white van. And what I saw was that there was something that was aimed, and the easiest thing I was able to put together was some sort of an explosive device. But then it happened, and everyone was like, there was no residue of explosives. There was no evidence. And I was like, I guess we'll never know.
You're not
But
there.
it's weird because I'm sure you've had this with things where you've picked it up psychically and maybe it was wrong later, which I think for me is coming to understand when there's warning signs or a projection in front of things. But sometimes I'll look at something and it's like right there. It's like you'll just turn your head and like, damn, there's Georgia Guidestones.
Well,
And so, you know,
it feels like there was a device on it. Was the vibe I'm getting from it? It was just set off probably by people in the car. I don't know, but probably it was done. And these secret societies that you don't hear about. Yeah, they're doing these fraternities. They do all kinds of stuff, but I think it was done on purpose for sure. But
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, why isn't it bound on time? It has cameras there too, I believe, too. Obviously, they showed it. But there's got to be more. Come on, just Ted Turner. I don't know if does he own that land? I think
I don't know, but I remember hearing this thing about how he was part of the group of so and so people, however many people that like commissioned the artwork, and they chose the fake name for the guy that supposedly had it made. It was this fake name, and I honestly don't know. I truly don't.
Yeah, I thought about visiting it a couple of years ago, but what are you going to do when you see it? It's like, okay, there it is. So you can forever get there. There's not much there to really.
Totally. Miss Liz says, love that it was the depopulation stone, which is an interesting choice of words, Miss Liz. Kind of leads to one of the other questions that I was going to ask you. There's just a couple more left, but this is kind of, maybe it's too basic. Maybe it's a prohibited topic. I don't know, but I'm going to ask it to literally everyone that comes on here. Do you believe, are we in a depopulation era now? Is that really happening? Is that a conspiracy thing? Are we living through it? How far do you think it'll go?
Probably in 2020 we felt some of it, but it feels like we're kind of replenishing a lot of that. In some areas, probably, but I mean, obviously, because of the economy, people are not having kids as much, so they'll find a way to reset itself. So yeah, in some form, yeah, but there's kind of a boom going on too. It feels like so.
Yeah,
but maybe not. Yeah, there's a little bit of that happening. Yeah, but it's all right.
Are there too many people in the world or not enough?
I'll eat more. I feel like it's okay, but as we go up in vibrations, whenever that fully comes in gear, you don't really need the lessons here anymore. So you go somewhere else. So yeah, the depopulation energy will happen anyway, because we go more. You don't need these challenges anymore. So less and less people incarnate here. So they just have how many, but the future does feel like it has less people there. You go somewhere. If you need chaos world, there's plenty of places out there that probably have it. So not that we're anywhere out of it yet. So
I feel you.
But as for overpopulation, I don't know. Everything's so multidimensional too. is there anybody even here? Maybe there's only a few
Is it
100,000
only
people.
right? Is there only one? Is there only one? I
Only
guess
one person here.
there's
Maybe
that one. It's only me talking to myself.
there's only one. There's that too. Maybe there's only one person here, and all this is just for you to in your warning. So maybe there's just one person here. So yeah.
It may very well be true. And anyway, I don't want to keep you too long here today. How's your time frame? I know you got other stuff coming up tonight. I don't want to.
Yeah, we can go a bit longer.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because I do have a couple other questions here. One of those was a thing that I was going to talk about, or that I was talking about right in the beginning. As I know you're aware of, there's a great importance in our awakening soul group of what we might call the date portals, the sort of numerical kind of dates in which we, in some cases, assign great importance, great energetic potency, and in some cases, it's part of a literal timed event where a certain energy is going to rise. And so, as I'm sure you've heard, we're at the stage of, the agreed upon year, where even though the date ranges are totally screwed now, we're at the stage in which we acknowledge, many of us, that we're in this sort of lion's gate, where sometimes there's a Syrian energy that shows itself or connects with a number of us through, portals and, star systems and whatnot. What do you think about the Lion's Gate energy? What do you see happening there? Is it a construct? Is it relevant? What's your views on all this?
Some people can connect to it. Some people here are activating it for their own healings, like they're connected to their star system. It can be in another universe. It can be here. Some connect to it religiously. It's just part of their own healing, usually. So, but a lot of people, for regular, normal people, probably have no idea. Don't. I think it's to lift some of the vibrations overall. So I channeled it yesterday. I feel like there are people that have like Lionsgate DNA, like they're here to activate. Some of them are feline people. So it's different for everybody.
I think it's definitely a force. At least, like for me, it's been a very notable, energetic time of year where I'm not even one of those people that really. I'll just say it. I don't even care about the 3-3 and the 4-4 and the 11-11. Like those are, sorry to be cynical, but there's certain times of the year where it's like, whoa, there's the energy rising. There's usually one in the fall. There's one in the summer. It's the Lion's Gate. There's certain things that take place, solstices, equinox, and so to me, it does feel like a thing. There's a passage of energy taking place.
So like the date, like you have like 2-2-2-2. I think those are kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Dates play a big role, like 9/11. Those play, if you pick up on like numerology energies, that has to do with portals. Like 9/11 is kind of a portal for that to occur, which is kind of messed up, but.
I agree, though. I agree.
But totally. months have, I haven't really looked into it. Like the 15th, I always feel like, the middle of the month, 15th. 15th is always some kind of transition situation. I don't know what. But so the numbers on, let's see, we have 8-6 or 8-8-20. Yeah, I don't know, but on the month, but either way, 8-8. I don't know. So who knows? So numbers matter, definitely.
Totally. What do you think about the idea that we've totally screwed up our dating system to such an extent that, when we talked about the sort of 2012, thing and, all these other sort of energetic portals, what do you think about the idea that we're multiple years off? Because you might have already heard this, but, there's a couple African countries that are still in like 2015, because they're on a different, now for real though, right?
That's true.
I heard about it years ago. It's literally happening. But what do you think about the discrepancies and how we?
That's true. Well, isn't the Jewish calendar? Isn't that like the year 3000, something like that, or 5000, or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, the 2012 there is energy connected. So it depends on how much they put energy into it. So there's some valid. We might be awful, but in some. But 2012 has some energy to it. So, I mean, it all has, it might not apply to everybody because obviously you have people on a deserted island who can care less about what's happening to us. They're still living in the Stone Age, living it pretty good, apparently. I think that's out around South America. I guess Africa has some of that. So
totally.
So for some people, for some of us, it matters. But others say they want nothing to do with it.
It's almost like it's really the importance that we would add to it, like the relevance that we would give something.
That's true. Well, the Chinese calendar, I don't know what that is, what animal that is. I don't know if it's a dragon or what that is. It's a big deal for a lot of people.
Oh, it certainly is. Do you know what your animal is for your Chinese zodiac character?
Oh, no. No.
I wonder what year were you born?
79.
Oh, see, I don't know. I know that I'll here we go. I'm going to date myself. I was born in 77, and I'm pretty sure that was a snake year. How do I know this? Get ready to cringe, everybody, because I was at a Chinese restaurant, and I was literally looking at the placemat a few years ago, and it was like, if you were born on this date at this time, you're year of the snake. And I was all, damn, okay, I'm year of the snake. Didn't even realize it. But so to me, it was a cool thing. But
that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But we had like the year of the pig, and
right, year of the monkey came through.
Yeah.
Maybe are we in monkey? I don't know. Somebody in the chat knows. There's 59 people in the chat. Tell us if you know what year are we in on the Chinese calendar.
Yeah.
What's our animal? I hope that's not a dumb question. Oh, here's girl in her bong is back. What's up? How's it going, Ivan? You were born in year of the horse.
All right, that's cool.
Year of the horse.
On the horse, that's good. That's
girl in her
can't
bong.
go wrong with that.
We got a snake and a horse, which is okay. From what I recall from the placemat in the restaurant, it said that snakes should be wary of the ox. Snakes, so at least as long as you're not an ox. All right, so we're okay.
That's good. So I believe
you're not an ox. Anyway, yeah, we had a question roll through that I want to ask you. It is a very basic question, Ivan. It's a really basic question, but one of the things I like to do is leave room for places where people can ask those questions. Because honestly, this is a thing. This was a question for me at a certain stage. I'm not joking, but I just want to get your views on this. Here it comes. What's up, Joan Miniker? Are ships gonna pick us up and remove us from the planet, or do we stay here? What's going on?
Well, I imagine people are going to stay here unless you exit. Of course, astrally, you can say we owe it when we go to sleep, or even during the day, we have astral travels during the day. So you're always traveling. So, but when you sleep, you go somewhere else. But obviously, you're here for certain reasons. So the ship's landing. I don't know. I'm talking to them all the time about landing. I did the alien disclosure in some of my videos. Like,
yeah.
They say, yeah, we're not going to, maybe. Maybe. It's always a maybe. I wouldn't write it off, but I wouldn't put a whole lot into it. But like individually, we can have a connection. Like you just feel the being. Doesn't mean that the ships are going to land, but we get more communication with them. So we might be 20 years into that, 30 years from now. Who knows? I don't know. I've had interactions with beings that they can connect with us anytime they want. Obviously, they don't. We have to do our thing. So the ships are probably not going to land because they take us to their world. We're trying to watch TV. We're looking for Netflix. We're trying to take a shower, and it's like we don't have any of that stuff here on our planet. Yeah. So who knows?
That's a good answer. Yeah.
But yeah, the interesting the Earth that's the day the Earth stood still, where the ship lands in front of the White House. It's like still waiting for that to happen. You never know. I wouldn't put a whole lot into it for them to show up, but it can't happen. But who knows?
Huh. So, interesting. Here my kind of view on that, Joan, and everyone else, which is very, very similar to Ivan, but I firmly believe that there are countless individuals on Earth that are going on and off of ships every single literal evening, every night. I would even go so far as to say that, which this will be awkward, but that reminds me, because I'm going to ask you a specific question in a little bit here about an experience I had. But I believe that, for a lot of us, Joan, we're in constant contact, and it's happening outside of the body. Through my own experiences and through what I've seen is the majority of the extraterrestrial contact and kind of just moments that we'll share are going to be very telepathic. They're going to be in a non-physical sense. They're going to be within a dream space. They're going to be on an astral plane. And one of the weird things about the way our physical society works is we're trained to believe that if they're not here in the room with you and if you can't touch them, then it didn't happen. But the reality is that we're having incredible life-changing, just life path altering experiences with extraterrestrial energies that are far deeper and greater, that almost completely negate the need for us to be picked up on some level. However, I do think it's possible. I do think that there are timelines and events that could take place where that would happen, which I guess here's another quick question, because it's always been thrown around in our spiritual community, Ivan, and that's the idea of our old favorite natural occurrence, the solar flare, the solar flash, the solar sneeze. Do you still see that happening? What do you think about that?
No, I feel like a lot of that's been calmed down. I mean, it might be causing trouble with satellites and stuff like that. I don't see that. Like a blackout, I don't think they want us to go through that because we have to deal with China. We'll see what they do. So, but other than that, you go on your own path, your own meditations to connect with beings. It's not easy for everybody, obviously. It's not meant to be easy. Believe in your own imagination. You know what? You get used to your imagination. You feel like it's your imagination, but actually you are connecting to them unconsciously or consciously. You can say both, actually. Yeah. So, but yeah, they are around us. They're helping us. They just can't interfere. I mean, sometimes I feel like one of them touches me. It hasn't happened a long time ago. You feel a finger or something like that. Happens not very often, but yeah, it's funny when they do that though. So just gotta. I mean, they don't have the problems that we do. So, but they can't interfere. It's just not. They can help, but that's it right now, at least.
They're definitely there.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, I don't think people want to realize how much there they are. Maybe they're more than you might realize.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't think about it too much and you start getting paranoid.
Totally.
And you look at it as it's no big deal. And everybody might, oh no, my privacy and all that. There's really no privacy really that comes down to it. So
supposedly. Speaking of privacy, I'm going to instantly transition into what I guess are our final two questions. Yeah. I'm sure there's other things, but just real quickly, and here, some of you guys out there who are watching are going to go, what? And then he made it about him. But yeah, I guess I did. I made it about me, which is a thing I just wanted to ask you about it. Recently, after doing a live stream, this is an awkward disclosure. Here we go. After doing a big live stream, one of these shows, I had a weird experience where in the night, I believe that I was either picked up or taken or some sort of a thing occurred. And when I woke up in the morning, Ivan, it was as if some piece of metal or an injection or a rod had been inserted through the roof of my mouth, behind my back front teeth, and up into the back of my nose. And it was so powerful and painful and weird that it was there for about it was there from about a Sunday until Thursday. And during the whole period of these days, I was telling Honora, something happened. What happened to me? What sort of thing got inserted? All the way down to where there was a literal sore and a weird bump, and my gums were all swollen on the left side. It was like something got literally inserted into the side of my head. And so I know I gave you zero setup on that, but as a person who encounters grays and all kinds of energies, what do you think?
Well, it feels like a Zeta. It feels like, I feel like maybe they were removing an implant or something like that. Maybe it was an old one that was turned off or something like that. It feels like they're removing something. I don't think they were putting anything in. You would have known that. It feels like they're extracting something. Or maybe just taking your DNA. Maybe you have a bunch. Oh, that hurts. Well, I did. I forgot. I had cuts on my forehead right here, 3 of them, like a mouse cut me. I woke up with it, and I had a scratch on my leg, which did not look like a cat did it.
Yeah. So
it's I had that recently, so it reminds me of that. So
you would know if your cat scratched you. You would know if you did it. We as humans, we're not so mindless that we're like, somehow I just got this mark. Don't know how.
It feels like you woke up, like it was happening. It's like you didn't want it to happen anymore, so you kind of woke up in the middle of it. That's what it feels like.
Man,
that's messed up.
I often wonder. Here's the craziest thing about it. I think by the time Thursday rolled around, I was at the stage where I was like feeling it all day, every day, and I'm like, wow, this is so weird. And I think I woke up the next morning, and it was like it had been erased from my body because it was a
Yeah,
thing. Like, you know how if you have a wound in a weird
yeah,
place, you're hyper focused on it every day, and
yeah.
you're like, oh damn, I got this weird feeling, and then
So
boom, snap, it was gone.
they do stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing, and like you waking up on an operating table on a ship, it's like, oh, this is not good. You're supposed to be asleep. so so I guess other beings came in, it's like, and they saw what happened to you. It's like, no, 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 we gotta get rid of this. You can't do this because other grays are like, I don't know, that's his problem now. He's the one,
Yeah,
whatever. It feels like he woke up during it. That you weren't, obviously you're disagreeing with it.
probably.
I don't think that was a friendly. I don't think that was a friendly beings don't do that.
I don't think so either. Here's the weird thing. You might have heard me say this before in the past, but for those who watch this channel, you'll get a kick out of this. I think that I have a thing where, like, when I do encounter the gray aliens, they're really good at wiping the specific thing from my mind.
Yeah.
Because as a person that's encountered all types of different beings, as a person who's literally, as far as I can tell, literally touched a reptilian with my hand physically, I never, it's like I can't see grays. Like
Interesting.
I literally can't. It's like a weird thing. I'll know there's energy there, but it's like somehow it's like it's not a gray. It's definitely not a gray. You know, it's just a
Interesting.
weird brain thing that comes in for me.
Yeah, because I feel, well, when I do like a channeling, like a text, I can feel them talking to me. I get the energy shifts. It's like, okay, you guys are here, and you pick up on the
Yeah.
energy on it. But with you, I don't, with that, either they're trying to put an implant. It's not clear what they're trying to do there. Obviously, it wasn't good.
But it's something. it's,
It was that.
it's
Was
something.
at least it wasn't another kind of probe. That still sucks.
Which is also a thing, which will also happen, right? It's real. All of the orifices in your body can be subject to some form of examination. You guys, just like we do with a dolphin or an animal we pull out of the ocean. We're like, oh, hey, looky here. You know, it's like you're going to flip them over, turn them around, you know, do all kinds of weird
Yeah,
things to them,
and
you know?
that could be it. Just Grays just found you. It's like, oh, that guy's interesting. Let's pull him up here and check him out and roll him over and stick a probe into him and see what we got here.
You never know.
Extracting DNA. It might have been just taking more DNA from you, but still, ouch.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that question as I awkwardly changed the subject. The weird thing is, Ivan, as you're telling me this, the place behind my tooth in the roof of my mouth where I felt that, it's literally throbbing. Yes, that can be a psychosomatic reaction for all you educated people out there, but it can also be a sign. And so, anyway, I know I've kept you for a long time. Our final question. I know we even talked about doing a channeling. We will come back and do this again in the future, unless you got time. But there is a question that I don't know if we've asked you this on any of the shows that we've done so far. But as a person, for me, and also you, who teaches people how to use these skills, how to use these abilities, I know you do a webinar literally every week. I think it's on Thursday, right? It's I love it, by the way. For those of you guys that watch, oh man, Thursday is like the funnest day. All these people call it. It's literally, we literally love listening to it.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Sorry.
Well, it might get uploaded Thursday morning, but it's Wednesday.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so okay. So as a person who also helps people learn how to do these things, and it's wild because I was doing a session with literally yesterday with a person that I've been working with, and right as we were in the session, she just bam snapped and started channeling beings. And it wasn't one of those things where you're like, wow, that's an interesting portrayal. It was like you'll see this energy come in, and they're like, and they start to speak, and I was like, whoa. Okay, we're just go for it. Let's just see where it rolls through. And so as a person who's also training people to do this, what sort of wisdom or guidance or information or advice can you offer people who might be watching this, who are going to find this video and they're going to go, you know what? I think maybe I think I can. I feel like I can. I don't know why, you know, but for those that are awakening this ability, what do they need to know?
Protecting yourself from trickster beings, so grounding, energy shields, knowing that you're not pulling in a lower dimensional, unless that's what you want. Because trickster beings would love to attach themselves to you and go to town with you, drain your energy, take you over, and have you for lunch. So the biggest thing is protecting yourself and just using your intuition, letting your imagination. I know people's like, oh, my imagination, am I making this up? Well, you're connecting to different beings. If you put your, and also in entertainment, you can look at entertainment or celebrities or someone in history that you feel like a connection to, and just tap into it and just go by what you feel from it. Like a world like Mars, like what are you feeling coming from Mars? Do you feel like there's little green men on there? Do you feel like there's politicians on there? What do you feel? It's like, and that's another way of looking at it. So just what's your version of the world? That's the easy version of that's the easy way of channeling. That's one way of doing it.
How would you know if you did connect? Let's say for those who are starting it out and maybe they're going to do a meditation later and they're like, hey, you know what? I think I can. I'm pretty sure I can connect. I'm just going to tune in with the energy of, blank.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. Insert there.
Yeah.
How would they know, let's say a person who's starting out, if let's say they did connect with a trickster energy, how would you know the difference? Because there's a lot of people that are very new and they're going to be like, hey, I don't want to connect with a weird entity. I think I can do this, but I want to do it the right way. How would you know when you got a hold of something bad?
Well, sometimes it tells you, it tries to control you sometimes, where it tells you like your friends have been Nazis in their past and you don't think they are. It's like, what resonates with you? If it feels like it's not right. So if they tell you like the end of the world is coming, or you need to move, or you need to do this, or it's tricky because they're really tricksters are tricksters. They're just really, and it's a learning process for some. I mean, it's not. When I first started channeling, I don't think it was a trickster being, it's just a toxic reptilian. I thought my whole arm turned green. So that's why one of my first, it's like, energy wise, so what green? It's like, this is not a good thing. Oh, well. But it wasn't telling me to blow something up or anything like that. It just had issues. Let's put it that way. So, but yeah, you just have to be careful. Yeah, when they tell you guys got to do this by this date, or the whole world is going to be gone, or things like that.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's tricky. That's why they call them tricksters.
Right.
Just do the best you can.
It sounds like be mindful of the content, the emotional tone, the sort of the feeling that comes through with whatever the conversational energy is, which for some people would be like, well, obviously, but for others, as a person who also connects with non-physical energy, trust me, you'll come into weird things within your internal world. And there's many times where you won't even think it'll be so wild. You won't even think to go, wait a minute. Well, hold on.
Well, like Ashtar Command is a good example of some of that's trickster energies, and some of it
very powerful trickster energy, nonetheless.
Exactly. That's a good one to look at. It's like if they're telling you the same stuff that Ashtar Command telling you, all this crazy stuff, because I connect to them. I might get any of that weird stuff that they're talking about, but I don't know. Whatever.
I remember you did Ashtar at our house over there in Riverview, and for those of you, maybe one or two of you saw that on the live stream, and whatever that energy was, Ivan, I think I told you this. It was so powerful. I tried to ask a question, and I was like,
"That's right." The lights were going on and off.
I couldn't even speak. Yeah, lights were going. Man, that was a trip. They were going in and out.
They're excited. They get really. It's like, all right, this is awesome. Maybe I'll bring them in tonight. Maybe.
Oh,
some
nice.
people, when I challenge Ashtar, some people do get energy attacks. They don't have the best rapport with them. Like, it's like, screw you, Ashtar. You screwed me over, and I understand that. It's a jungle out there. It truly is.
There's a lot of wild, severe, strange energies, weird beings.
Out of control. Yeah. Definitely.
Higher plane consciousnesses, lower plane consciousnesses,
People want these aliens, like, reptilian might show up, but if you find, it's like, he might be a nice reptilian, but he might also want you for dinner too. It's like, wow, that's a real tasty looking human there. It's like, so I was like, you ready for that? And connect some of these Palladian beings, they might be all beautiful. Some of them can be really manipulative too. So their beauty and all that. So
I always get weird about the Pleiadian energies. I shouldn't say weird, but I'm always like, Pleiadian, right? Because as far as I can tell, I might be wrong, but I think when you really look at what we might call the star system or maybe even the realm around the Pleiades, there's something like, I feel like there's like hundreds of physical planets within that maybe thousands, like probably thousands
Yeah.
of actual, places that could be physical realms. So it's like we're saying, I'm from the Pleiades, and it's like, you're from anywhere. It's like,
Yeah,
which
that's
side, which
true.
one, what neighborhood, where
They don't always go into detail. Just they were playing collective, and just instead of going through all those details of this, I mean, like you can prove it anyway. It's like I'm Moloch from wherever. It's like we could put, so it's like anyway. But yeah, that's true.
Feel you.
So,
Feel you.
So
thanks for hanging out with us, by the way.
Thanks for having me here. Yeah,
I know we have been here for a while. I guess the final thing is, what do you have coming up? Where can we find you later? What's happening in Ivan's world? What's on the horizon?
Just find me at ivanteller.com. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. I'm in live stream on Rumble too, because people are there. So it's like, I'll go there, build it up. Because I say something I shouldn't be saying, I should be okay as long as I don't go into. If I do a political video, I just make a separate one, because some people do want to know. I just connect to the energies. I'm not trying to be a political person. I'm just tapping in. That's what you do. It's like, especially if China's going to wipe us out, I'll make a separate video on that. It'll happen on this day. Hopefully not. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, just some people just want need something. So, but yeah, just channeling tonight.
Cool.
Probably
around what time do you think you're gonna show up?
I've been getting later and later, like especially I got stuff to do tonight, so it might be like midnight again. It's been around midnight recently, So
the reason why I'm asking is also because I'm like, okay, because I'm gonna come back and watch it. So I'm like, okay, which is really fun for those of you guys that are watching. There's 50-something people. It is kind of like this late night show, and everybody tunes into Ivan's channel, and it's like it is really genuinely like you should know this. There is legitimately a group of people all over the world who are like, damn, what's up with Ivan tonight? Let's see what's going on. And so I'm glad YouTube didn't kick you off, but that leads me to one other thing. I know we're lingering here, but it's funny because yesterday or last night you were talking about like, man, I can't talk about this. How am I even going to do this? I'm going to, some being is going to come in and they're going to want to say this thing, and you can't expect them to edit themselves. What are they going to not say this word because of an earth-based censorship thing? But one of the things that occurred to me, maybe this will make sense, maybe not, but having viewed and connected with the energies and the frequency that you carry, I think it's reasonable that you can reach out to these beings and be like, look, we need to adapt to the current climate. And, we need to make a modification. If you guys want me to keep doing this, help me change the language, to a way that we can receive. And so anyway.
Oh, this is just it's all probably planned and everything and yada, yada, yada. It's like, so it's all good.
Yeah. So, it's right. Aurora Diamondheart says, seriously, not the same without you, Ivan. She's part of it, dude. These is a group of people. Literally every night we're like, what's up? What's going on in Ivan's world?
Well, yeah, it's been getting later and later because I answer questions. Sometimes I've been, today's been a long day. My schedule's always open, so I don't never know what's going to happen.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Feel free, roll out of here. We're going to have you on hopefully in the next couple months.
Yeah, just message me. Yeah, just message me. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. It's very good to see you. I'm glad YouTube allowed you to come back. We'll see you online later on tonight.
Okay.
For those of you guys that are watching, find him at ivanteller.com and on YouTube at Ivan Teller as well, correct?
Yep. And on Rumble, if you want to find me there, Facebook, just Ivan. I'm all these different places at once. So yeah. Twitter, nobody's on Twitter. I'm on there too. Nobody. It's funny. Everybody's getting banned from Twitter. I'm still there for now.
Is Twitter even real? It's like 50% bots, right? Anyway, yeah. But
me and the bots. Hey, it's like if I need a video that got deleted, I just go there and download it. So,
cool.
So, all right.
All right, my friend. Thank you for being here. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care. All right.
Boom. Thank you, Ivan Teller. And we are still here, by the way, everybody. We're going to be here for the next few moments. And so, honestly, please subscribe to Ivan's channel. It's an honor to have him here. I think he's going to go see some other people. But in the meantime, just really quickly, you guys, before we get out of here, we're going to be meeting again. I mentioned this at the beginning of this broadcast, but the next time we're going to be online is actually this Monday. We're coming in for a Lionsgate little bit of an activation, a lot of programming water and harmonizing the sort of fluid makeup or the buildup of energy within the body. So we're going to do a little bit of a water programming thing. And then we're going to be doing some readings. And so you might be asking the question like, all right, Matthew, that's cool, but how come you're not doing a mass meditation or some form of a energetic process? How come you're not doing a starseed family, whatever, insert keyword here? Because we've done a lot of those. There's a lot of people doing stuff for the Lionsgate August 8th activation. I think that when I looked into what we were called to do for this event, it was more about kind of priming energy and helping people strengthen themselves and really understanding directions. One of the things we were talking about at the very beginning of our broadcast with respect to what at least I've been seeing through this so-called Lionsgate portal is it really is about a very individualistic stage of the journey that's coming up for us as we go through the rest of 2022. What you're going to see, or what I believe we're going to be seeing, is a number of people kind of taking little twists and turns in terms of their own individual timelines. You're going to see a lot of people in our soul group, in our community, picking up the tools, picking up the abilities. I don't mean to signal anyone out. I think she's still here, but I guess I will. I'll signal you out. Sorry, Aurora Diamond Heart. You're just a literal example of what I'm talking about when we say people are going to go through a certain type of activation or a change, a contract renegotiation, a sort of directional shift in the mode or the manner of service or the version of themselves that they've been. And one of the reasons why we kind of harness and use the energy of this Lionsgate portal is to help us make the greatest use of the momentum-based energy and the changes that we've signed up for. So one of the things you guys are going to see through this, stage of 2022 is those skills, those abilities. Some people are going to be stepping up and doing shows. Some people are going to start doing readings. Some people are going to further develop or step into the next stage of service. Some people are going to be going, whoa, I realize I'm supposed to be doing blank, and they're going to step into it. And so the reason why we're doing this specific sort of, live stream activation, just kind of reading session on Monday, is really to help people with their own directions, really to kind of like give you an idea. And, sometimes when we do 1 or 2 card readings, you get a big bundle of info. Sometimes you just get a very surface level thing. But for me, it feels like one of the best things we can do right now is it's not about taking people and placing them on that timeline and going, you're going this way. It's about helping figure out what is it that I need to do next? Where do I need to change? Where do I need to grow? What do I need to realize? What do I need to know about myself? And so this year, for just our kind of little Lionsgate activation, we're going to be doing some readings. We're going to harmonize our energy field. And so for those of you guys that want to come hang out with us on Monday, we're going to be going live around maybe a little bit after 12 noon Eastern, so 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Some other random time, depending on where you are in the world, you can sort of check your time zones. But for those of you guys that are coming on Monday, bring some water. If you want to do it right, if you really want to do it right, you'll bring 2 glasses of water, and we'll give you some time in the beginning of the live stream to go get those. But we're going to be doing some activation, harmonization, and then just checking our alignment, our direction for the next version of ourselves. And so you can come roll through, get a very brief reading on Monday. Who knows how many people are going to show up? Sometimes this channel gets 20. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes we get, 50 or 60. And so it might be a short one. It might be a long one. That's coming up Monday, 12 noon on this channel. And so the other thing, because there's more than that, also coming up, I saw somebody put it in the Zoom. There it is. What's up, Miss Liz? Thanks. The other thing we got coming up is on Saturday, August 20th. Whew. Saturday, August 20th. That's me going through the sort of dates in my brain when I'm like, when do I have this plan? And so on Saturday, August 20th, you guys, and that's at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be meeting once again in the Blue Flame Collective Patreon group, which, honestly, it keeps going and going. The last few months it's been more fun and just more alive over the past few months than I ever expected it to be. And so this month in the Blue Flame Collective, I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I actually did. It's a good thing we're talking about this here on the live we're doing right now, because I'm going to put up a poll for those of you guys that are in Patreon, and we're going to do one of three things. Choice number one is going to be readings for everyone, which has been actually the most popular groups we've done so far. A lot of people come to those. A lot of people have been enjoying where we do just readings for everybody, whoever shows up. It's a little bit more in depth than what we do on the live stream. And the fun thing is Honora usually comes, so you'll get two of us. So that's option number one coming up on Saturday, I think it's Saturday, August 20th. It's next Saturday. I can tell you that much. And so next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we might be doing readings. And then there's option number two, where we might be doing an energy clearing, very dedicated energy clearing process, which also has been going shockingly well. And then option number three for this month's Patreon group is going to be kind of a class format, which sometimes for me, that's the easiest one to do. I don't know why. It's easy for me to kind of go into class mode and start talking about energetic anatomy and then doing an energy clearing, maybe because we've done a lot of them. But anyway, we're going to be putting up a poll in the Patreon group in the coming days. I should do it sooner rather than later. My concept of time is horrible. 2 days will go by and I'm like, oh yeah. And so for those of you guys that want to join us, that's coming up August 20th. I hope I'm not saying the wrong day. Let me just look at my little calendar. I realized it was right next to me here, everyone. Let's check it out. It is next Saturday, August 20th. And so we're going to be meeting on Zoom. And so for those of you guys that want to join that, it's $10. You can come one time if you want. Trust me, I'm not one of those people that's like, you need to stay linked to my group and continue to be part of this thing. The last thing I am is an energy harvester. So I would say, please come through if you feel guided, and then you can even quit immediately after. Some people will stay. A lot of people have actually. A lot of people have stayed with us. And so coming up August 20, we're going to be doing either readings, possibly some energy work, possibly a class. And then beginning in September, we are going back into the more educational portion of what we do in the School of Multidimensional Intuition. And that is with what we call the energy body intensive courses. It was a thing that we were doing through the first, I guess, kind of quarter of 2022, in which it's kind of a bi-month or a bi-weekly meeting every month rather. In addition to the regular Patreon group, we also do the Energy Body Intensive, which is, in my opinion, a very, very cool thing because it kind of allows us to go through a round of education, then also working with the energy centers and the meridians in our body in real time. And so for those of you guys that are learning how to be healers, those of you guys that are picking up tools, those of you guys that have been on our live streams and you've heard me do these weird capsule phrases, these strange syllables that we call out, we're going to be doing a lot more education in terms of how to use those. How does it work? How do we clear energy with the power of the voice? How do we start to open up our chakras and meridians? And a lot of you guys already know this because I'm always ranting about it, but that's the key toward opening up your intuitive abilities, emotional healing, healing the inner child, opening up the layers of non-physical energy within the body. And so that's starting in September. We're going to be doing 2 of those meetings a month, one regular Patreon group and then the Energy Body Intensive. And so we got a correction. Thanks, Aurora. It's 2 Saturdays. She's right. It's not next Saturday. Thanks, you guys. It's like my concept of time is so awkward and horrible. I'll be like, it's next week, and turns out it's in 2 months. Or I'll be like, it's tomorrow, and it's like in 6 months. So my time is very poor. But you're right. Which leads me to next Saturday, the 13th, in which we are doing another show next Saturday, the 13th. And I can actually say the name of our guest because some of you guys who know me will know that they tend to quit or bounce before the show. Sometimes I just don't confirm people properly. So we won't make it a personal thing. But next week, we're going to have a very, very cool person. We're going to have a really, really good person who I've been blessed to spend some time with on the earth plane. And so I know he's the real deal. That's Barry Littleton, you guys. I really enjoy Barry Littleton. If you're not familiar with Barry Littleton, you can check out his channel here on YouTube as well. Incredible contactees, Sasquatch contactee, all kinds of wild beings and experiences. And near-death experiences and all kinds of stuff. And so I've just been enjoying Barry Littleton for a long time, and I'm glad that he agreed to come hang out with us next week. So next Saturday, that's why I have her comment on the screen. Next Saturday, the 13th, we're going to be hanging out with Barry Littleton in the School of Multidimensional Intuition. He's going to roll through the multidimensional trailer park. And I'll be real, it is kind of like that's kind of how I imagine it. It's kind of like a little bit like the rough and random side of the tracks where not everyone wants to hang out, but every now and then you go over there and you're like, whoa, you might get your mind blown, or you'll realize that that's one of the places where you actually do belong. And so Barry Littleton's rolling through multidimensional trailer park next week. In the meantime, you can always find me at rememberyourmission.com. Continues to be the heart of what I do on a daily basis, literally every single day. Well, let me be real. Lately, I've been taking Wednesday and Sunday off. So 5 days a week, we're doing this strange thing here. And so you can always find me and Enora at rememberyourmission.com. And I know it'll seem anticlimactic, but I just had a real big bell go off in my head because here's the thing. Sorry, I keep lingering here today, you guys, but we're going to be making another appearance on another person's channel, which is kind of rare for me. It's just been a little bit rare. We don't always get to do it. But Tuesday, August 9th. There we go. I was trying to find the number, trying to find the number in my brain. Tuesday, August 9th at 12 p.m. Pacific / 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be appearing on the Watchers Talk channel. Some of you guys saw Omar on here last week, which let me tell you, out of all the shows that we've done, I would say like Omar and a couple other people have like just way more people than I ever thought would be contacting me after that show actually did. And so thank you for the incredibly positive feedback from last week's show with Omar from Watchers Talk. We just got a lot of really good feedback. I really enjoyed his energy. And I think one of the most important things we can do, whether you're a creator, whether you're just a consumer, whether you're one of the people in our multidimensional soul group that's like grabbing onto this energy and this information and just kind of following people and going like, well, what is this guy about? What are they doing? In my opinion, Watchers Talk and Omar is just a really good example of people that are doing a channel without there's no agenda. It's like they're here to bring knowledge and they genuinely enjoy the sort of exchange of ideas, which was one of the reasons why we wanted to have him on the show in the first place. And so I'm going to be going over to their channel on Tuesday at 12 Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. And I hope that you will subscribe to his channel as well. I think he's doing some really cool work. And I just think it's important that we all stick together in a weird way, because there's also a lot of really weird, angular kind of fakers out there. Not that they're necessarily consciously faking, but there's just a very, what I would call a semi-disturbing narcissistic cult of personality that rises up around a lot of the disclosure celebrity figureheads right now. And at least for me, I'm starting to find it very concerning. It's like a repeat of a timeline that a lot of us experienced in 2015, 16, and 17 with the rise of the Sphere Being Alliance. And just, the tale of Corey Good and all the wild, fun drama that got to come after that. It's like we're seeing the way that seed plants itself over and over and over again within a disclosure community. And I've just been put off lately by the level of, ego posturing and superiority, by the, I'm the good one and you're the bad one, and I have a good implant and you have a bad implant, and my ETs are the good ETs and your ones are bad. It's like, to me, when I see that sort of social game start happening within a community like this, it's like the direct extension of the unhealed drama that we were having in places like high school and earlier stages of our life. And to me, it's just been a concerning thing. So when I find, creators or people or experiencers, people that I've viewed and had contact with over and over and over again, where I'm like, okay, this is an authentic energy, one that I believe that, we can continue to digest and sort of take in the energy that they're giving us. And yes, you're still going to use discernment, but it's like, I, at least for me, when I choose to bring people on this show now, or, it's not like that many people are watching it. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say we're in some position for anything, but I just move more toward authenticity rather than, big numbers, rather than celebrity. In fact, it's kind of weird because as a person who lived in Hollywood, like literally blocks away from where all kinds of big TV shows and movies were made, and having been to all these restaurants with all these cool sycophantic celebrities over the past few years, which I did. You see a lot of them when you live around there. There was just a complete and utter disdain for just the parasitic nature of how people kind of posture and place themselves in positions when they've reached a level of notoriety, and I see a lot of that getting used in very negative ways, in very narcissistic ways. And anyway, I'm definitely ranting on it right now. We don't need to insert any names. It doesn't matter what names you put in there. It's literally everywhere. And so we're just going to continue to bring people on that I personally admire, people that I enjoy talking to, people that I want to hear from, because not everyone that we've had on this weird show are people that I've actually talked to firsthand. Some people have, a lot of them we'll have never met. But I would say if there's one thing that I really want to stay true to as a person who just I guess we're doing this little accidental show now, is that somebody said it down there, boom, there she is again. Authenticity is the best frequency. For me, it's all about bringing people that are authentic. And so if you're one of those people out there, get a hold of me. Maybe we'll have you on here to do a little bit of a chat. And so in the meantime, you all know where to find me, rememberyourmission.com. Please do subscribe to this channel. If you're one of the people who recently subscribed, we've been getting, granted, I'm just going to say it. I know we're lingering at the end of our show today, guys. Sorry. But we've been getting a lot more subscribers recently. And so I'm very, very grateful. If you're one of the people that has just stumbled in here recently and you're like, okay, I'll subscribe to this channel. Or if you're one of the people who's responded to my very subtle, smart use of conversational hypnosis, you might have also subscribed, because I do insert it at certain areas where, for people who are willing, you will. But so it's definitely working. And I want to say very, very specifically, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for rolling in here and hanging out with us, whether it's every week or every other week. And so, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have any questions before we get out of here. I realize there's about a 10-second delay, so feel free to add any questions in before we roll. I'm going to scan through the chat on the way out the door. What's up, Heidi Pop from Los Angeles? How's it going? Good to see you around these parts. I hope you guys will subscribe to Raising Starseeds as well. I caught part of one of their shows yesterday, and actually I was there for the whole thing, hanging out with you guys. So good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I don't see any other questions, but it's really good to see all your faces. Thanks for hanging out with us. What's up? Moments of Truth with Julie. How's it going? Good to see you around these parts. Cool. Okay, guys, I don't see any other questions. And this is a classic time. This is one of those days where I totally lingered at the end, which for some of us is an anticlimactic process. But in the meantime, locate me at rememberyourmission.com. You can subscribe to this channel. I look forward to seeing a few of you guys on Monday at, what time is it? 3 p.m. Eastern? Wait, 12 p.m. Eastern. 9 a.m. Pacific on Monday. We're going to be doing our Lionsgate broadcast. And so come and hang out. Oh, here goes more lingering. What's up, Dylan? Good to see you. What does authenticity mean? Honestly, for me, authenticity means being, I would say, the most real and most, well, not to be redundant, the authentic version of myself. And so what I mean when I say this is that it's not that I'm not pulling punches. It's not that I'm being fake, but I'm choosing a manner of communicating and presenting myself that is completely the best that I can do, the most real version of me, just the most present, the most correct and in alignment. And that's not to say that I would be correct or in alignment from a morality perspective. It's just the most truest, most accurate, most real, most raw version of myself. When I'm attempting to be authentic, it's like we're just telling the real version, the real truth, the real essence. And you can be authentic and be raw and also be really negative at the same time. So I think authenticity can come in many different forms, but the version of it that I think that I try to bring to this channel is just something that is more real and more present. And it's not here to like posture or give you some sort of fake advice on creating a column of light and just wishing away all the bad ETs. You know what I mean? We're keeping it real. And anyway, watch out, Dylan. I'm gonna go on a crazy rant about that. Right as I was gonna leave, yep, they pulled me back in with another question. Anyway, thank you. Hopeful Art, what's up? You would think that in Weird World, aliens and energies, people would be totally accepting each other's experiences. So disappointing. I feel you. I wish they were. There's so much weird ego and stuff. And what I've noticed, I think, is that as soon as you start challenging a person who's been placed within a higher social rung on the ladder, it's like it doesn't matter if it's correct or incorrect. What I've seen within our community is that it's like they get threatened and there becomes like this cool girl or this cool guy club, and they just start striking out at people. And as I've seen that more and more, it's very weird and concerning, and it feels bizarre. And anyway, we're going on all kinds of weird rants. We did an authenticity question a few moments ago. I probably massacred the answer. And so thanks, Tiffany. 12 different timelines. Maybe we are. I wonder if it is on 12 different timelines. But the next meetings are Monday the 8th, 12 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday the 9th, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then on the 20th, where we're doing the Patreon. We also have the show on the 13th, but all those dates, very confusing. Anyway, I don't see oh, what's up, Pia Christian Thorstred Matthew? I was wondering about your last name. Well, that's a very good question. I often wonder about my last name as well. I've been told that it's Armenian, but I also happen to know from my own kind of genetic lineage that, at least from what I've identified with, what we were taught when we were children, at least for me, was that we were of Native American descent. And what I was taught was that I was primarily Zuni and Apache. In terms of ethnicity. And then on my dad's side, I think, they generalized, European mutt energy. But I always found it interesting that I had a very Armenian last name. And so it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that there's a lot of Armenian within me as well, which I'm totally open to. Totally open to it. I think that would be cool. I do think it's interesting that I have an Armenian last name. Having not had any exposure to that culture. Although when I did live in Los Angeles, there was a bunch of just a lot of ethnic Armenians that I met were like, you're Armenian. And I was like, really? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I grew up most of my life under the understanding that we were Native American primarily. And so Zuni and Apache, that was us, But who knows? I think everybody has it. And so thank you for that question, by the way. Good to see you. Thanks, Dylan. I probably blew up the answer to your question with all kinds of intensity. But anyway, yeah, thanks. Thanks for rolling through. La Love You Girl says they look Armenian. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I definitely might. I don't know what the Armenian look is, but they seem cool. So I'm definitely on board with that being an ethnicity of mine. It probably is, honestly. It probably is. And so, yeah. Anyway, okay. You guys, we have lingered so long. And the whole reason why is because I've been trying to keep these shows at 2 hours or right around under. So anyway, thank you for all the fun anticlimactic rambling at the end. I look forward to seeing you guys Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, right here. So it'll be a morning show. Bring some coffee, a couple glasses of water, and yourself, and we're going to do some energy work and some readings. Anyway, it's been a long one. I love you guys. I'll keep rambling at this strange computer in front of me. In the meantime, I love you, and we will be back in the coming days live from the multidimensional trailer park. We'll see you soon. Take care out there, you guys.